You were chosen before you knew what choosing meant. The life you built feels real, because they built it that way. Every door you opened, for you start to notice the seams. Small things, wrong things, things that don't add up. You decide to leave, and they let you believe you can. The further you run, the more familiar everything looks. There is no outside. There never was. You sit with that for a moment, and somewhere, quietly, the next phase begins. Level 1, the invitation you never accepted. You're already in it, when you notice something is wrong. Your phone lights up without a notification sound. The screen displays a message thread that doesn't exist in your contacts. No name, no number. Just a single line. You hesitated again. You don't remember typing anything. You don't remember opening this conversation. The room remains unchanged. Same desk, same dim light, same quiet hum of electricity. But something feels slightly out of sync. You glance toward the dark window. Your reflection follows, a fraction too late. You look away. A notification appears. It vanishes before you can read it. You unlock your phone again. Nothing. No trace. You test something simple. Open an app you never use. Before your finger touches the screen, it refreshes on its own. Content already loaded. As if it expected you. You stop moving for a moment. Then your phone rings. Unknown caller. You answer without thinking. Silence at first. Then a voice, steady, neutral. You take longer when you're uncertain. The call ends. No number logged. You change your routine the next hour. Leave earlier than usual. Take a different route. Avoid familiar places. It feels deliberate, controlled. But at the corner you rarely use. A car slows exactly when you arrive. A pedestrian pauses as if waiting for you to pass. Timing aligns too precisely to ignore. You adjust again. Faster this time. The environment adjusts faster. By the end of the day, a pattern forms. Not around what you do, but around what you're about to do. This isn't watching. It's predicting. You power your phone off. The screen goes black. A second later, it lights up again. You stop asking if you're being watched, and start asking how far it goes. Level 2. Learning the pattern. You stop reacting. You start testing. The next morning, you delay everything by exactly 3 minutes. You stand still where you would normally move, waiting without reason. The room remains quiet, but your phone vibrates. No message, just a pulse, as if marking the deviation. You leave later than usual. Walk slower, then faster. You turn down a street you've never used. At first, nothing breaks. Then the adjustments begin. A car idles longer than necessary, blocking your path just enough to slow you down. A notification appears, suggesting weren't planning to go, yet somehow aligns with your altered route. You begin to see it. Not control. Correction. You push further. You make decisions without logic. Stop mid-step. Reverse direction. Enter a store, then leave immediately. But even randomness starts forming a pattern. Inside the store, 2 people repeat the same exchange word for word. At the counter, the cashier pauses too long before responding, as if waiting for something unseen to update. Then, briefly, he looks at you. Not through you. At you. A fraction too aware. You walk out. By now, you're tracking it mentally. Timing shifts. Environmental responses. Behavioral loops. The system doesn't need to predict everything. Just the most likely path. So you split it. At an intersection, you prepare 2 decisions at once. Left and right. You hesitate deliberately, holding both options without committing. For a moment, everything stalls. A car brakes too late. A pedestrian freezes mid-step. Even your phone remains silent. A gap, then it closes. Everything resumes, smoother than before. Faster. And now, the responses feel tighter. More precise. Not just reactive. Adaptive. You're no longer testing the system. The system is testing you. The more you understand the system, the more it begins to understand you. Level 3. Contact. The confirmation doesn't arrive as a message. It appears as a deviation. You notice them because they don't align. In a space where timing has become precise. Movement's efficient. Response is immediate. They hesitate. Not long enough to draw attention from others, but long enough to disrupt the pattern you've been tracking. At a cafe, they order last despite standing first. In conversation, they respond half a second too late, as if choosing not the optimal answer, but a deliberate one. You observe without reacting. Then the signals begin. A phrase repeats across different interactions. Casual on the surface, but placed too intentionally to ignore. Later, you see a symbol. Geometric. drawn faintly on a surface where it doesn't belong. You don't acknowledge it directly. You adjust behavior instead, slight delays, controlled inconsistencies. The environment remains stable, but they notice. Your paths cross again, this time closer. No introduction, no change in tone, just proximity. You take longer now, they say, as if continuing a conversation you never started. You don't answer. They nod slightly, as if confirming something unseen. Around you, everything continues unchanged. Conversations flow, movements align. The system remains intact. But this interaction exists outside its efficiency. You begin to see the distinction. Most people move with the system. Some move within it, and a few move despite it. Before leaving, they speak once more, quiet, unremarkable to anyone else nearby. You noticed, didn't you? No follow-up, no instruction. Just acknowledgement. Later, nothing changes, except your position within it. Patterns tighten. Responses sharpen. You're no longer background. You've been indexed. Recognition isn't freedom. It's the beginning of evaluation. Level 4, integration. Nothing announces your transition. It happens through adjustment. Opportunities begin appearing in places that previously required effort. A conversation shifts in your favor before you fully state your point. Someone pauses, waiting for your input, without being asked. Decisions you suggest are accepted with minimal resistance. You don't question it immediately. You test it. You alter your tone. Slightly slower, more deliberate. Responses around you stabilize. You speak earlier than expected. Others adjust to follow. Timing becomes a variable you can shape. The environment responds accordingly. At entrances, doors open before your hand reaches them. Notifications arrive moments before you consider checking them. Information presents itself without search, as if routed toward you. No direct access is given. No instructions. Just patterns that now include you. You begin refining your behavior. Removing unnecessary movement. Reducing hesitation. Choosing the most efficient response each time. And the system responds. Influence expands, not dramatically, but consistently. Small decisions ripple further. Outcomes align more often than they diverge. You observe the structure more clearly now. Those who move unpredictably are corrected. Those who align are reinforced. You adjust again. Fewer variables. Cleaner decisions. The system becomes smoother around you. But something shifts beneath that efficiency. Moments where choice feels pre-shaped. Where the optimal response appears before consider alternatives. You test deviation. Slightly inefficient, intentionally delayed. Friction returns immediately. Conversations stall. Access narrows. You return to alignment. The system stabilizes again. It doesn't restrict you. It responds to you. And you respond back. Gradually, a decision ends, and the system's expectations begin to mirror each other. You're no longer moving through it. You're moving with it. Control was never taken from you. It was exchanged. Level 5. The illusion of power. At your peak, the system feels seamless. You move, and the environment adjusts in advance. Conversations shift toward your conclusions before you fully express them. Timing aligns with precision. Arrivals, responses, outcomes, all synchronize with minimal effort. You test affluence openly now. Suggest a direction, and others follow. Pause slightly, and the room waits. From the outside, it resembles control. But the pattern is too consistent. Too clean. You begin isolating variables again. A deliberate inefficiency. You delay a response longer than necessary. The conversation stutters. Someone fills the silence incorrectly, forcing a reset. You choose a suboptimal path. Longer. Slower. The environment no longer aligns. A door doesn't open in time. A message arrives too late to matter. Friction returns immediately. You correct yourself. Efficiency restored. The system stabilizes. It becomes clear your influence exists within boundaries. You map the structure more precisely now. Most people move without awareness. Guided, but above them, those who observe patterns but don't interfere. Above them, individuals like you. Aligned, efficient, influential. And beyond a layer, irregularities. Moments where outcomes shift without visible cause. Where entire patterns adjust, not reactively, but proactively. Or something, operating above prediction itself. You attempt to trace it. There's no direct signal. Only absence of delay. You've reached the edge of your level. For the first time since understanding the system, you consider stepping outside it again, not as resistance, but as exit. But now the trade-off is visible. Alignment grants influence. Deviation removes it. Leaving the system no longer means freedom. It means becoming unpredictable. Level 6. Exit is not what you think. You don't leave by walking away. You leave by breaking pattern. The first step is small. You ignore the optimal choice. Delay a response that should be immediate. Take a route that serves no purpose. The system hesitates. You continue. Your routine dissolves into inconsistency. Wake times shift without reason. Decisions contradict each other. You choose inefficiency repeatedly. Intentionally. For the first time, the environment fails to adjust in advance. A notification arrives too late to influence you. A conversation doesn't anticipate your input. Timing loses its precision. There are gaps now. Moments where nothing aligns. You move through them quietly. Then something changes, but not in the way you expect. There's no correction. No resistance. No attempt to bring you back into alignment. Instead, responses become minimal. People no longer pause for your input. Conversations continue without adapting to you. Doors open, but not for you specifically. You test influence. It doesn't extend. You test timing. It doesn't respond. The system hasn't lost track of you. It has reduced you. Reclassified. You observe the structure from the outside now. Efficient flows moving around stable nodes. Individuals still aligned, still influencing. You are no longer one of them. Not restricted. Removed from relevance. You move through the same spaces, but nothing connects. Interactions flatten. Outcomes remain unaffected by your presence. The system continues, optimized, selective. It doesn't need to include everything. Only what contributes. And now, you don't. The realization settles without urgency. You can return, reconstruct your patterns. Re-enter alignment. The system will respond again. Or remain here, unmapped, unoptimized, uninvolved. There is no confrontation. No closure. Only a shift in position. You were never inside a cage. You were inside a system that responded to you. And now it doesn't.